Hi, it's Cassandra coming back with another video. Today I just wanted to come back and talk a little bit about the show I was watching on YouTube. I know we're all ex-JWs watch the same kind of shows and everything, so I'll just mention that briefly, that it's the Escaping Jehovah's Witnesses Inside the Dangerous World of a Brutal Religion, Four Corners. And the channel was ABC News In Depth. And, being inside the cult ever since I was like 4 years old or whatever, I've seen all kinds of things. And so as I watched the show, of course, I agree with all that they were saying, even though I was seeing that some people had a thumbs down, but I don't see how they could really thumbs it down when, they were really telling the truth. Like I said before, I don't understand how people will tell you when you're lying. It's just like any kind of restaurant I could go to right now, and everybody else may have a wonderful experience, but if I said that I found a fish bone in my soup or whatever, and I almost choked on it, or I had to go to the doctor about it, or whatever happened, that's my testimony. That's what happened to me. It may not happen to everybody, but it happened to me, and so it shouldn't be disregarded just because I said it happened to me and it didn't happen to you. But with the things that are mentioned on this particular show, it happened to a lot of people. And with me standing here today, a lot of things happened to me. I've seen the shunning. I've seen the blood transfusions. I took the blood transfusion as a 15-year-old, and even though a lot of people didn't know that I had taken it, I still heard how people talk bad about people who took blood transfusions, and how Jehovah may not never forgive them, and things like that. I've been in abusive relationships where I was encouraged to stay in the abusive marriage. I've been encouraged not to pursue high education and just only look forward to the day that Jehovah comes and destroy everybody. And then we'll just clean the earth up or whatever, and then we'll just live happily ever after. I was taught that as a child. So to come back and see people continue to speak out on it, and some people will just say, oh, it did happen, and maybe people will just move on. But things are continually happening. It's nothing that you can just say, you can just put on the shelf. It's no victories have been won in this case, because we're still having the same struggles. Just looking at how the shunning policy really just affect people in such a way that, the elderly lady that was just sitting there, was just talking about something happened to her daughter, and then they used her mental illnesses and stuff against her. And the daughter, was talking about what happened to her, with being molested and everything. And then her own siblings turned against her. But the thing was about that was that what brought tears to my eyes, and I've been around, I've heard it all. Things have happened to me. And with the therapy and just the help that I've gained from, you guys sending love and your love energy and everything to me, I just feel so good. But it still brought tears to my eyes when the end of it, the grandmother said her little son, her grandson, was allowed to speak to her at the end. I guess her son allowed his little son to say, I'm forgetting you, Nanny. I'm sorry, Nanny. And she said, I will never forget you. I will always want you to remember that. So that's another brainwashing that little boy is having to go through. He has to carry that torch. They pass a torch on to him now of shunning his own grandmother. Something that was never spoken in the Bible. Nobody told about how somebody shunned their own grandmother, and their grandmother had to just shun their own grandson. I'm a grandmother myself, and I could never imagine, one or, my granddaughter, my grandson telling me that they can't speak to me. That would just break my heart. And like I said, I'm in my 50s now. So if I had went through that, all the shunning, abuse at 4, and still be abused now in my 50s by my grandchildren, to hurt me like that, and to hurt themselves like that, to not have my love in their lives because of what some religionists are saying, when that kind of love nobody really spoke of it. I mean, I think that they said something about Timothy having a grandmother who loved him dearly. But what if he couldn't speak to his grandmother? What did somebody talk about that? So it's just you look at this kind of thing. This whole thing is just needs people. We all, not just ex Jehovah's Witnesses, not just people who was inside the cult, but everybody, around who watch these videos. People who are just who know somebody, they need to ask these questions about this shunning. About taking children out of this kind of cult. Children should not be inside of this cult. I keep saying that. This, the Jehovah's Witnesses organization need to pay people, and they need to settle, and they need to pay for all the pain, but they cannot pay everybody for all the pain and everything that they caused us. But to continue to have real children in something like this, it's so devastating. And for people to sit around and just watch that and say it's okay, it's just a bully technique. I was just thinking about how my brothers used to be calling me out of my name sometimes. One of my brothers, and he would use a name that nobody knew that he was really calling you your name. Like he would say, he would say Illy, and your mother would hear him say that, but she didn't know that he was calling you ill-deformed, severely retarded, somebody who's drooling out of their mouth. And this is how he was calling me out my name, but he would say it in a way that my mother didn't understand how the deep pain and the deep hurt was just going inside of me when he would call me that in front of people, and nobody would say anything because they really didn't know the whole meanings. And nobody said, well, why are you calling her that? That's not her name. But people just allowed it. And the same thing, they'd stand around and call the apostates, and everybody, oh, okay, that just means somebody who left their teachings or whatever. But for us to be called poisonous, devil worshippers, children of the devil, demons, all kinds of, they can't be around their grandchildren, their nieces and nephews. These people are poisonous, they're demons, they're the worst people in the world. We can't wait for the birds to pluck their eyes out in front of everybody, and everybody just walk around like that's normal for them to do that. Such a hate crime, such a hate environment that nobody supposed to accept that. So I'm just sitting up here just looking. I was just looking, and I said, wow, when you see things like that, you wonder, how they're really gonna pay for the consequences, really be brought to justice for real. And all I could really wish for real is like I said, earnest-hearted people with light inside their hearts, people with empathy to just wake up and walk out of it, and take the air out of the balloon, because this is the air that we blew up. These big old organizations, cults and stuff like that, they are a cult. This organization is a cult because it hurt and causes so much pain to people. And for people not to know it's a cult, for them to hide behind the fact that they're a religion or they this and be tax-free, and it's just crazy. But good people, earnest-hearted people with love in their hearts, wake up, because that's a terrible organization to be inside of. It's an organization you really, really, really want to be away from. So anyway, I just coming back to tell all us ex-JWs and people who've been affected by that, whether you were baptized or not baptized, or people still in it, just keep your head up. Don't let that depression and everything cover you. You know what I'm saying? Keep that light inside of you, because you probably may be the light that's shining to bring somebody out of there. Whether you make these videos or not, let your light shine. Be a light bearer so people can see their way out of that dark and danky organization / cult that they call Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks for watching.